y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Valentine Goddess 2018 collection that's coming from Femme Fatale Cosmetics. This is going to be a run of one pre-order, so if you're interested, definitely hop over to the website starting on January 7th through 11th. These may trickle down to some of your favorite stockists as well, so I'll try to update that when available. This collection was sent to me for review, and I'll go ahead and jump right in. So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and start with my favorite. This is Aphrodite, and it's described as a bright pink when cold to clear or light pink when warm thermal. You guys know I love a thermal, but this one is described as also having luminescent blue glow, which can lean the color to a little bit more of a pearlescent finish. It's packed with iridescent green to blue shifting flaky. So here's a look at that first easy coat. This one is pretty sheer. In its warm state, it's almost like a very clear or light pink or almost like a jelly type white. So it is one that you're going to have to build up a little bit. If you're familiar with Blue Within Blue Eyes from Femme Fatale, which is one of my all-time favorite polishes, this is exactly in the same vein, but kind of with a pink shift instead of a blue, and I'm head over heels for it. So I'm going to go ahead and build that up with a second coat. You can see there it's already shifting towards my tip, so this one is very temperature sensitive. I didn't have any issues with getting it to change, even in this incredibly cold weather. So I am going to finish this off with one more coat, so it is right at the edge of being completely opaque in 3. When it's in its cold pink state, it is definitely more opaque than when it is warmer or clear. Depending on how much free edge you have, it's going to look completely different, but it does make a beautiful and flawless gradient. So here's a quick look from a different angle in direct sunlight at the natural shift with a coat of glossy top coat. Sometimes those flakes did want to make a little bit of texture. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it shifted for me in my cup. So to the right, I have super cold ice water, and that brings it to that gorgeous pink finish. And then to the left, I have incredibly hot water. You can kind of see the steam coming through in some of these shots, but it does very easily bring it to that clear state, which actually I may prefer over the pink. It's just really luminescent and delicate. So here's a quick side by side. That water, I'm telling you, was super hot, so I did have to double dip in the cold water, but there's a look at that shift. This is my final swatch photo at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is Aeroto, and this is described as a soft mid-tone purple that's sheer at first but can be layered nicely with patience. It's packed with a slight pinkish glow, which you can see there fairly well in the bottle, holographic accents, and a ton of delicate red iridescent flakies. So this has everything. It's got the shimmer, it's got the hollow, it's got the flakies. So here's a quick look at that brush shot, and then I'll show you how Aeroto swatched on my natural nail. So like the description says, this one is a little bit more on the sheer side, which can sometimes be typical of Femme Fatale polishes. It does build up really well on itself though, so there's a look at that first coat. I'll let it dry and then show you how it built up for me with the second. So here's a look at that second coat. I do want to mention that this one is packed with flakies, so depending, you may have to kind of smooth them out a little bit during application. This one builds up really nicely in 2. I do still have some visible nail lines. I'm going to go ahead, let that dry down, complete this coat, cap that tip, and then show you how it built up with that third and final coat. So here's a quick look at that. 3 coats did bring this polish completely opaque for me. That shimmer, as I always say, goes a long way in helping build up opacity. This one is stunning underneath all different lighting sources. It may look a little bit different in the sun. All that hollow comes through, but in indirect lighting, you're going to get more of the flakies, and they shift and are beautiful, and that shimmer. So here's a view from a different angle in direct sunlight with a coat of a glossy top coat, and this is my final swatch photo at an angle again in that direct sunlight. So lastly today I have Patho, and this is described as a velvety warm dark purple with a stunning reddish hue that's filled with red iridescent glitters and super fine silver holographic flaky. So this one is gorgeous, super vampy, but it also has that red shimmer to kind of brighten it up and add a ton more depth. So here's a quick look at that brush shot, and then I'll show you how Patho swatched on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. This one may start out a little bit sheer as well. Definitely very user friendly. It's not going to run or pull on you at all. So one coat made for okay coverage. I do still have some visible nail line. I'm going to go ahead, let that dry, and show you how it built up for me with that second coat. So this is one of those polishes that's really going to balance on the edge between being a 2 or 3 coater depending on your application. 2 coats, I think with the extra swipe there and capping my tip, I did make a little bit more of that visible nail line. So I am going to go ahead and go in for that third and final coat for sure. This one is completely opaque in 3 coats, no visible nail line or issues at all, and it does have a very strong strong red shimmer. So here's a view from a different angle in direct sunlight with a coat of glossy top coat. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle again in that direct sunlight. So that does wrap up the swatch and review of the Valentine Goddess Trio for 2018. I think these are all beautiful polishes, very Valentine's Day appropriate, but beautiful for all year round as well. The thermal will have a shelf life of about a year, depending on how you treat it. It may last a little bit longer. My Blue Within Blue Eyes still shifts, no problems at all. If you'd like to see any more photos of any of the polishes shown here today, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.com, or you can also visit me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. I will link Femme Fatale's website as well as all their stockists down below. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.